Hi everyone! If you ever wondered why you feel so much better when you paint, why watching swatching is addictive, and why there's nothing to beat what you see when two watercolors meet and mix and mingle, I'm here to tell you exactly why. In today's video, we're continuing our colourful adventure, where vibrant pigments lead the way into exciting places we can't wait to explore. So let's jump in. And I think what I'm going to do is paint the pots first, I think. So it doesn't really matter what colour you use, just pick up whatever comes to hand and go for it, basically, is what I would say. It's fun to put the paint on the paper. You can draw the top line of the pot like that. Don't worry if it goes a bit wonky. Then change the colour a little bit. Always remember my old teacher saying, never paint the same colour twice. And when you start to paint your drawings, you might feel that you want to change it a little bit as you go along. So, for example, I'm feeling I want to make it a little bit deeper. So we do that, and might put a little bit of red in the background, might make it a little bit rounder there too. So that's number one. Then we'll wipe off our brush on our piece of toweling here. You can use anything, paper towel will do, but I think terry toweling is better. So the next one, this one here, what goes well with that colour of red? I'm going to go for orange. This one here, I'm going to have to replace soon. I've had these paints at least 2 years, probably 3, and I've used them almost every single day. And they still haven't, you get down to the bottom, but that doesn't mean that they're finished, But it's quite a nice colour, isn't it? I think that's quite a nice yellow. And we'll put a little bit at the back there so we know where it's going. Just perhaps cover up the pencil line so it doesn't show. There we are, that's the yellow one. Wipe off our brush, rinse it, and I'm going to go for purple now, I think. So we've got here this one called maroon. One of the other things that's nice about these paints is that they do moisten up pretty quick and get lively. Whereas some paints you have to pre-wet them so that they give up their pigment, but these ones are pretty good about it all. I thought about it, but I didn't do it. Pre-wetting, I didn't do it. Yeah, so that's the maroony coloured one. You don't have to do anything terribly. Go away, fly. I'm pestered by insects today. Orange, let's have orange. An orangey orange. Yes, this kind of orange. And we'll do this one in orange. Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? Don't you find sometimes that colour just gives you quite a thrill? I do. And there's a sort of also kind of thrill that you get when you know that something has worked. If you're doing a landscape and it actually turns out right, and you look at it and you think, yeah, actually, that I like it. You can get this sort of strange sensation of thrill. Let me know if anyone else out there has had that feeling, because I'm probably completely weird. And this is a mixture of red with orange, a kind of dark peachy colour that we've got here. And I'm going to think I'm going to put a little pop of something different. So like no, can't do turquoise because that will clash with the what did I do in the others? You can always look back at your older work, and see what colours you used. And if I look here, I can see that I used yellow twice, so perhaps I'll do that because I did like that yellow, but I've got several different yellows. Well, let's use the quinacridone gold. I know that's not a Kuretake colour, but just a little one. And I want a real purple. I know I've got one somewhere, a real purple, indigo, imperial violet, that'll do. Right, let me stick that up there. We will decorate these pots once we've got plants in. And down here, we wanted one that's sitting on the floor, on the ground, no, on the table or whatever. So we'll do this one in brown, I think. Okay, is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, okie dokie. So that's that. Now the next thing is going to be the leaves. So we'll turn this around so we can see the green ones a bit more easily. Is that right? Yes, that looks okay. So let us see what we can do. Why don't we go for all the greens, and I'm going to put a leaf of each green. I won't bother to wash my brush in between. I'm just going to do something like, is it called mother-in-law's tongue? This one. Keep going. One stroke of each. Excuse me. Let's put a little bit of the next colour, which is turquoise. We put that in here. And I want a really dark green down here somewhere. And let's pick up some brown. Just put a little bit in there to indicate the earth. I'm going to leave that. I'm probably going to go over this with pen at the end if I have time. Probably. It depends how it comes out. Probably will. So then we're going to do some different leaves over here. I think I'm going to do lots of smallish ones. Might go down to a smaller brush for that. Is that smaller? a little bit. I'll tell you what, we could do cactus leaves in here. Bit of bright green. And this one down here, let us put and then we want some dark green for the stems. And, so difficult to know exactly which way to go, but this tall one, I think he needs really long, really quite dark. Oh, let's do something like this. That's what we've got here. Okay, and a bit of brown for the soil here. And let's see, let's put some nice bluish stems in there like that. And then we'll go for, I like to be as random as I possibly can with the colours that I use. And I thought that doing this painting, the reason why I chose to do this today was because I thought it would give the set of Kuretake colours a bit of a workout so that you could see how they operate. Yeah. See how flexible they can be. I'll put some designs on there shortly. And for this one down here, I'm going to put a couple of quite thick stems. I'm going to call this a succulent. And put some, I need the ground underneath to be grey or something different from the... If you're on Patreon, you will have seen today a quick painting of some foxgloves, where I said that the main thing to do if you want your painting to be relaxing is to paint what comes out the end of your brush naturally, which I think is quite important. Not to try to copy anyone else's style. You could always turn that round, couldn't you, and say, would that person have ever tried to copy me? And unless you feel the answer to that would be yes, then why would you try to copy them? I rather like these long ideas. And you can always come back in and extend it a little bit, make it a bit sharper. And there's one more over here. Let us be bold and put some pink. This appears to be pink. And some little turquoise leaves. And I think these are probably dry by now. So we'll go back in. That one's red. So we want a really dark, if we're going to do what I was planning on doing, we need a dark colour to just decorate the rim of the pot. And we could do lines going down. And so there's that. And on this one, I'm going to do, oops, try not to touch anything. I'm going to do zigzags and dots. Either I'm suffering from an allergy at the moment, or else I'm suffering from the first symptoms of the my new blood pressure pill. Which is supposed to kindly give you a dry cough, and I have a feeling I'm not sure what you're supposed to do about that. Right, so this yellow one here, I could have used the orange on that, couldn't I? But I think I'm going to put some gold on that one and use a pen. I don't know if it'll work. Just for the heck of it. But I do like these nice lines. I think I've got a vase a bit like this with some vertical lines, like that. And we need some darker brown for this one. And that one up there. Let us get some dark pink. And do something like that. Just use your imagination if you've got any, unlike me. Okie dokie. So now I'm going to probably put these out the way and turn to my Fudenosuke brush pen. And I think I could use brown fine liner. For the hanging things. This is I don't know whether this is going to show up. If it doesn't work, then we'll go and find something else. But what I want to do is basically take a thread up behind to indicate the string, and I'm not sure that, I think that's too thin and not bold enough. So maybe we'll go, I don't know if this is going to work. Maybe I'll use a ruler. I'm just trying to think of different ways that you might want to do this, you know, and different ways I might want to do it, come to that. And then you can sort of go over your pattern, can't you? And, you know, draw your hanging design in. I think that's still a bit wet, so I won't do that. And this one, we're going to put it up here, and I'm just going to take it from here. It's shorter, so it's a bit easier. I'm going to put this one up here, and this can come here. Doesn't matter if it's not quite straight. They often aren't. I'm going to put that there. There we are. And this one can come up here. You don't have to put these in hanging pots if you don't want to. You can just leave them, you know, standing on a shelf. This one's just standing on a shelf. This one's going to have a hanger. This one starts off up here, down to there. Okay, so then we're going to liven this up by sharpening up all the edges. Okay, so on this one we're going to do petals and leaves. These pens are very good for this, I find. And you can, if you want to, you can always put another one in if you feel it would look better with another one up here, or a few more leaves. You haven't done enough leaves. And you know, you can leave them unpainted if you want. Just leave them like that. And it depends on you how you want to do the hanging thing. There are different ways of making this work, some of which are probably less realistic than others, but that's one way. And then you would have another thing going up the front, but you don't necessarily want to put that in because it could spoil the whole effect, really. So you don't necessarily want to do that. But if you were taking longer over your design, unlike me, because I have to try and do this reasonably quickly, because of the way I do it with the narration as I go along, that does put limitations on how long I can spend. That's something we chose to do because we wanted it to be as authentic as possible, which is even more important now when you really don't know what you're watching. They can now create videos. I'm going to go for white here, I think. Not sure if that's ready to accept it. Yes, that's okay. Just go slow. Videos can be generated from a voice prompt. You might not want to know about this, and close your ears if you don't, but you can now say there's a program that Google have just released where you can say to it, give me a scene inside a car show where people are looking at the new models, the latest models of the cars that are out there, and people talking to an interviewer and wandering around looking at all of the products on sale. And it will go away and it comes back and it produces something which looks like it's real people. Yes, it does. And it's completely convincing. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So anyway, so you know that anything you watch on YouTube or anywhere else, come to that has been produced in the last year is potentially completely made up. And that includes news items too, so beware. I'm quite famous for always saying to people, never believe anything that you see on the news, because sometimes I've seen news items about places and things that I've seen and experienced myself, and I can say that that wasn't what actually happened, what was reported. They tell fibs. Right, just to make a story, I remember when we used to live in England and we had a business in a place called Crowborough, which was in Sussex. I'm sure somebody out there from that part of the world will be listening. And we had our business in a building which was newly built, and it was called Harley House. Because I think that was the name of the person who built it. Yeah, that's right. It was his name. So he named the building after himself. Anyway, he owned the building and we rented an office on the ground floor. And one year there was a scandal. It was called the Grenfell Tower fire disaster, and a block of apartments went on fire, caught fire, and quite a lot of people were killed. And it turned out that it was because of the materials that they'd used on the building, not the building we were in, but the flats that went up in smoke, had been covered on the outside with something called curtain walling, which is, it covers up what's underneath and makes it look nicer. But this stuff had turned out to be flammable. Anyway, it had been put in place by the guy whose building we were working from. And they came down on him like a ton of bricks. But the things they said about him and his business, because we knew him and we knew the truth, I can say that what they said was completely exaggerated and mostly wrong. Yeah, so anyway, that's just my experience of these sorts of things. I'm sure you've had similar experiences yourself. Terrible, really. I think business folded after that. And it really wasn't his fault. There was other people involved, but they picked on him as the scapegoat. It's the kind of thing that can destroy someone's life completely, isn't it? Lies. What I'm doing here is what we call reverse colouring, where you put the lines in last. You draw the thing, you put the paint on, and then you come back with pen and you put in the structural lines. I think you find it quite relaxing, actually. It is quite good. Just let your imagination wander. Unfettered. Now, this was meant to be a cactus, so it's got to have little doobry-doobries on it. So what was a blob? You see, it was pretty much just a blob. When you put the defining features, that is to say little spiky hairs, you put those on and it turns from just any old kind of thing to something looking like a smiling cactus. And we're going to go around here too and do some lines between these ones. Something quite soothing about just drawing around your paint. Here we go up here. These are very good ones because they have nice center lines. There we are. Is that all of them? This one could do with a bit more definition, I think. I think that flower there is wrong. I'm going to go for a bit more of the darker paint there, I think. Just darken it up a little bit. And this one needs, oh, they haven't got their hanging doodahs, have they? So I have to do that. This one can go like that. And you could have, you don't want it too complicated. Don't want it too complicated. We'll put this one on in white. And some of them should have kind of a thing underneath with, that's another sort of defining feature, isn't it? I'm just looking for my examples here. Can't remember how they do it all. I think we can do 2 lines up like that. And 2 lines up like that. There we are. Let's just put a very light line across here, a very light line across there, and then And this one similarly, we can go down here, down here, and here. Just like that. We'll leave it like that. And this one doesn't need much either. They're all basically the same. Now that's done. Okay, so there we are, that's finished. And let's see what we have. Whoops. Oopsie whoops. I can take off that little bit of a mess there that we just made by putting our hand on it. So I think if you give something like this a try, I think you'll enjoy it. It's completely no pressure, absolutely fun. Though I know that they are hanging in midair, but you can imagine a rail going across here from which they're all, so you could do that. You could put a, you know, some kind of support in there if you wanted to. Or you could just take the idea and build it however you want, or just take the technique that I used and do your own thing completely. But a bit of a workout there for the Kuretake paints, showing some of their characteristics and how they do nice bleeds as well if you let them. They kind of invite all sorts of experimentation and fun. So have fun, and I'll see you again soon, probably on Saturday. I think this video is going up on Tuesday. We're going to be skipping Thursdays for a bit because, you know, life has got on top of us a little bit, as you know, and we're trying to catch up with all the things that we need to catch up with. So we're going to let you catch up too. And I know, you know, we've got 1,300 videos at least out there on YouTube for you to watch. And I'm sure you haven't watched them all. So have fun with that. And don't forget to leave a comment in the box below and let me know what you think about some of the things I've talked about today, whatever they might happen to be. This, by the way, again, was a 15 by 11. And if you haven't got that size yet, it's a fun size to work on because it gives you a bit more breathing space, which we all need, don't we? So there you go. I will let you go. Have fun, as I said again, and I will see you on Saturday. So bye for now, everybody. Bye-bye.